Well, I've been cooking for a while, and it always makes me smile when a recipe turns out just right. I like to saute and grill every day, you know it satisfies my appetite. But what I like to do when I'm all alone with you is create a new recipe. Won't you come along and relax for a while? Let's explore the possibilities. Won't you cook with me? This recipe, it was meant to be. So won't you cook with me?
Alright, here we are in the kitchen. It's a small kitchen, kind of like a galley on a boat, but we rock it out from here. What I'm going to do is tell you what you're going to need to get started on your braised pork on sweet potato biscuits. First thing you're going to need is some cinnamon. Next, we're going to need a big old piece of pork. That's a Boston butt, bone-in style beef. Next, you're going to need some garlic cloves, a little bit of chopped red onion, some nice, dark, tasty beer, red wine vinegar, brown sugar, tomato ketchup, and last but not least, some high-quality H2O. Alright, so now what we're going to do is take our pork, and we're going to sprinkle it with the cinnamon mixture. Just get a nice even coating on there. It's kind of like a dry rub, basically. And I've got my grill fired up. We're going to put it right on a hot grill, the whole thing. We're just going to sear and char the outside of that big old piece of meat. So what we're doing now is just going to char the outside of this piece of pork. Get some of that nice smoky flavor started. Get it going here. So while our pork is charring up, we're going to go ahead and get our braising liquid started. What we'll do with that, a little olive oil in a pan, get that real nice and hot, add the red onion, and the garlic cloves. And we're just going to sweat those down a little bit with the fire. Next we're going to deglaze with the beer. Deglazing means to get those nice bits of flavor and crusty food that's all on the bottom of that pan loose and let the flavor go into the sauce. So now we're going to reduce that down by about half. Now that we've got our liquid reduced by about half, we're going to go ahead and add the brown sugar, some tomato ketchup, and it wouldn't be barbecue without some red wine vinegar. Let's stir that all up. Get that nice and happy and all those flavors getting to know each other. And we'll bring that to a boil and we'll be just about ready to take our pork off the grill. So now that we've got a beautiful char on our pork, we're going to move it into an oven-safe pan. We're going to take our braising liquid that is reduced down just a little bit. We're going to pour it right over top of that pork. What this is going to become is our barbecue sauce. All those chunks of garlic and onion will add great flavor to our pork. We're going to put it covered in a 225-degree oven for about 10 to 12 hours. This is kind of an overnight deal. Do this part right around 8 o'clock before you go to bed. Put it in a low oven, let it cook overnight. When you wake up, you'll have a beautiful surprise when you wake up. The smell of delicious, tender, fall-off-the-bone braised pork. Alright, so here we are. We're going to crack open the oven and see what we've got going on here. Can't wait for this. Oh, yes. It's just beautiful. It just smells so good. The reduction of the vinegar and the brown sugar and everything in there, all the flavors, the garlic is just roasted up beautifully. Get a shot of that pork right there and I'm going to show you how that bone. Move it over here. There's that bone and watch this, it just pops right out, fall off the bone, roasted baby. That is braised pork at its best. I'm going to get this just real gently, pull it apart. What we're going to do now is carefully move this out of the liquid onto a plate and let it rest just for a few minutes. As you can see, this pork is just so tender, it's almost hard to get out of the pan without falling apart. Don't worry about that. We're going to shred it up anyways, make it a barbecue consistency. But that's what that slow, low cooking does. It's just, oh, full of love, full of flavor. The kitchen smells so good. shred this up. And what we've got here is our braising liquid. And that's all those good flavors there, and that's going to become our barbecue sauce. The way we're going to do that is like this. Just going to dump it all right into a blender. Careful not to spill it. Like that. Put a rag on top of the blender just in case anything wants to spill out and explode everywhere. Put this on low. Get a little extra kick there. Just gonna puree this up. It doesn't have to be totally smooth. A little bit of chunks in there will let everybody know that you made your own homemade barbecue sauce. Look at that. That's a really nice consistency. But I'm going to reduce it down just a little bit more. So we'll put it into a pan. That'll reduce down and give us a great smoky barbecue sauce consistency. So once that comes to a boil, we'll turn it down to about medium and let that simmer for an hour or so. Now while our barbecue sauce is reducing, I'm going to tell you about one of the final steps in this recipe is making our chipotle aioli. It's basically made with egg yolks, lemon juice, a little bit of vinegar, and some olive oil. Now we can go two directions with this. We can get all these ingredients, put them into a mixer, put it on high, drizzle in the olive oil, and make our own homemade mayonnaise. Or if you're at home, you just want to take your favorite store-bought mayonnaise, it's a little cheap trip there. So, next we'll take our ground chipotle peppers, which we put in our blender, and we'll just pour those right on top of the mayo. And we're just making a spicy mayo here, basically. We'll whisk that right in. Give it a nice light pink color. If you like it a little spicier, obviously you can add more peppers. If you like it a little lighter, just go easy on the peppers. But just like that, our chipotle aioli. Once again, we can do it a homemade style with egg yolks, lemon juice, a little vinegar, and olive oil. Or you can take a shortcut and use a little store-bought mayo. We're going to get that into a squirt bottle and get ready to plate up. So what we're doing now is plating up this beautiful masterpiece that we put together here. What I have is a beautiful, fresh-baked sweet potato biscuit from the corner bakery right here in our neighborhood. I'm an artist, not a scientist. I like bacon, but I don't like baking. So what I do is have them make our sweet potato biscuits for us, and they're absolutely delicious. We're going to take our pork, which is once again real tender, just shreds up nice. We've got some of our barbecue sauce that we made. Got a little squirt of barbecue sauce just for that sauce there. And we'll gently toss our pork in the barbecue sauce. Now we'll take our pork, place it right on top of the biscuit. Nice little drizzle of that chipotle mayo. If we want to be real fancy, we'll give it a couple dots. Give it a couple dots this way. And that, folks, is your braised pork on a sweet potato biscuit with the chipotle aioli from Johnny Mo, the musical chef. If you like this recipe and several more, you can find it in one of my two cookbooks, Johnny Mo Rocks the Kitchen and Johnny Mo Rocks the Party. They're both available at mallardsllc.com. So check us out at our website or Facebook me at chefjohnnymo.com or hit me up on Twitter. Tweet me, yo. I'm Johnny Mo the Musical Chef, and I'll see you next week when I come back with a brand new recipe and great new tips and tricks. I'll see you soon, and remember, with this short webisode, you can rock the kitchen too.
I've been cooking for a while and it always makes me smile when a recipe turns out